Hi, my name is Vanessa Rapnoi, and I'm a tech steward. When I think about deliberate values within my industry, as a toy engineer, we're faced with the constant tension of how do we make a toy fun while still making it educational? When we reflect on how we think about toys, we often think that these two concepts are at ends with each other or at odds with each other. We think that either it's fun or it's educational. We rarely see the two meet in the middle. And in our industry, we're constantly trying to, make the next biggest, best toy, which means that it needs to appeal to mass. And sometimes these educational concepts, whether it's STEM or anything that is actively evolving a child's psychology, sometimes these things are viewed as pretty niche and not a part of the mass market. So in order for us to make our products as big and great as possible, we often or sometimes just don't even include these things. So what does that mean for the future? How can we evolve our mindset to ensure that we are finding ways to make education fun? And we've seen examples in industry like there's this cool brand called Osmo, and they're integrating mathematical concepts with pizza making. Or you see my niece had this cool toy where she's kind of making like a light, bright, artistic visual, but she's using a drill bit to screw in each piece. So that's like a really cool hands-on application while you're also involving the artistic side. So I think when we think about the concept of deliberating values, we just want to ensure that we're reflecting on identifying what these tensions are, such as fun versus education, and then evolving our understanding into how we can combine the two and ensure that they are, in fact, evolving as a concept overall.
Hi there, my name is Allyson Hewitt, and I'm a tech steward. I'm also the Vice President of Impact at the Mars Discovery District in Toronto. Today, I'm going to talk to you about realizing diversity, which is really all about looking at things through an equity lens, which enables us to get to scale. Historically, we have many examples of where designers thought about a particular type when they were doing the design work, which is often a 6-foot-tall man of a certain weight. The classic example here is crash test dummies. So if you are using seat belts with a crash test dummy that is only of one architect, you can imagine how that is problematic for women of a smaller size or children. And in fact, what you see with seat belts, and you've probably seen this with kids in your life, when they get into the seat belt, they take the shoulder positioning device and put it behind their head. And the problem is the laptop, which is attached to this part of the seatbelt, doesn't stop in the same way. And we see kids with very severe injuries from the lap belt. In fact, it's called seat belt syndrome. And it's simply because seatbelts weren't designed for them. There's many other stories like this. GPS not recognizing the voice of a woman because it's in a higher octave. Here's the secret, and here's what I want you to do. When you're thinking about the technology that you're designing, think about it through an equity lens. Classic example is wheelchair ramps. I live in a neighborhood where there are many wheelchair ramps into local stores. And while I've seen a few people in wheelchairs use them, I've seen many, many more parents use them for strollers. And so what happened was things that were designed for a certain purpose to support the equity deserving group, in this case, people with physical disabilities, ended up supporting parents, even though it wasn't designed for that. So when you think about design, think about how you can do it with universality in mind. You'll find that it increases new access opportunities to your products and services. And in fact, it will make the world an even better place. And what's wrong with that? Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rogayeh Tabrizi, and I'm the CEO and founder at Theory and Practice, and I'm a tech steward. Today, as I'm reflecting on widening approaches, I'm reminded of a recent interaction that I had with the COO of a big US bank. We've been working with them on several projects over the last year. Most of these projects span ideas and questions which are mostly related to understanding customers better. This stakeholder clearly has a very important need. She wants to put the customers at the center of everything. But the more I listen to her, the more I realized that she's perhaps not even asking the right questions, as in the questions that she's asking are not quite feasible to answer in short period of time. But also I realized that she is looking at these problems as if they are disconnected and completely disjoint. So I decided to take a step back with her and invite her to consider that these problems are very much part of an interconnected ecosystem of use cases. As we were doing that, we decided to actually design a program for their team members to help them also ask questions better and to really think about how all of these different problems are very much related to each other. The reason I'm sharing this story with you guys is because when I think about widening approaches, we really have to consider that it is very important and essential to bring expertise and different perspectives in order to develop tech. It is not just good enough to understand one problem or one aspect of the problem. We really have to make sure that we have created enough intellectual diversity and we have collected enough different ideas and perspectives to be able to understand again the bigger picture and bigger impact that this tech is going to have on people that we are trying to help. Thank you.